In this lesson, we are going to implement placing order. When user select a product, add to cart, go to cart, proceed to checkout, shipping address, selecting payment method. There we are. We are going to implement place order screen. And when user click on place order, a new order will be created on the server and user will be redirected to the order details page. We implement this page in the next lessons. Source code of this lesson is here. In the comment section, number 16, place order, contains all code that I have used in this lesson. Let's get to code. Here is a plan to create place order page. First of all, we need to create order model in the schema. Go to schema.ts, scroll down at the very end right after cart, create a section for orders and export const orders. It's a Postgres table. The name of this table is order, and here is the fields of order table. We have ID of type UUID, user ID, reference. It's a foreign key to the users table, shipping address of type shipping address. It's a JSON data, payment method of type string, payment result of type JSON data. The type of it is payment result. We create this type later. Items price, shipping, tax, and total price. Is paid as status. It's of type Boolean. By default, it's not. It's false. Paid at of type date and time, timestamp. Is delivered, delivered at, and created at of type date. Let's create payment result. Go to validator.ts. After payment method schema, create payment result schema. When user make a payment, we save the ID of payment on the payment gateways like PayPal, Stripe, the status of payment, the email address user entered on the platform, the payment platform, and the price paid on the payment platform. To get the type of payment result schema, go to index.ts, in types folder, and right after shipping address, define payment result and infer type of payment result schema using ZOT, like this. Import payment result schema from validator.ts. Save the code, go back to a schema, import payment result, and there we are. We are ready to move forward on orders model. Right after defining order table, define order relations. Import relations from the Rizal ORM. For order table, we are going to define two relations. The first one is order items. The relation is one to many. So one order may have many order items. We implement order items later. Second relation in the order table is user. Each order has one user. So here I created one relationship between order and user, and the field is order. User ID is connected to the users.id. Let's create order items. Right after this, create order items table. We have order ID. It's a foreign key to the orders table. Product ID, it's a foreign key to the products table. Quantity of product, price, name, slug, and image. Here, the primary key of this table is a compound key. It comprises of order ID and product ID. Mix of them should be unique. And the last step here is defining order item relations. Here, we have only one relation between order item and order table. Each order item has one order ID, and here is the field and references. Save the code. Like always, after changing a schema, we need to run npx drizzle-kit push to apply changes to the database. Okay, change applied. Let's test it. npx drizzle-kit studio. Run this command. Open this link And there we are. We have order table and order item table. Check the columns. Yes, they are correct. Great. Let's go for next step. Here, step 2 is creating order actions.ts. Go to lib actions, create new file, order actions.ts. The first action that I'm going to create here is creating an order. Here is the code for creating an order, but make sure that it's a server-side file. I mean, the code only can be run on server side using use server. Here I'm exporting function create order. It's an async function, and inside that create try catch block, get access to the session using auth, import it. If user is not authenticated, raise an error. Get user cart, import my cart from cart.actions, and import current user from get user by ID. If cart does not exist or the length is 0, we don't have any item in the cart, redirect user to the cart page, import redirect from next/navigation. If user address is not defined, redirect user to shipping address. If payment method is not selected, redirect user to the payment method selection. Then validate insert order. Then validate user. Then validate shopping cart and user information using insert order schema. Where does it come from? Go to validator. At the very end, define two schema. Insert order schema comes from create insert schema function from the result Zod. So we need to install it first. Open a new terminal, npm add the result Zod. It's a package that generates a schema based on the result table. After installing, scroll up and import create insert schema from the result Zod. Scroll down. Here we are using create insert schema and pass orders as parameter to this function. As a second parameter, I'm going to modify shipping address and payment result from orders. For shipping address, I'm going to use shipping address schema that I already defined right here. And for payment result, I'm going to define this object and make it optional. For payment result, I have ID status, email address, and price paid of the payment gateway, and make it optional for this field. Second schema that I'm going to define here is insert order item schema. And here I'm using create insert schema from the result Zod, pass order items from db/schema as parameter, and modify price, make it as number instead of string. Save the code, go back to order.action.ts, import insert order schema from validator, and parse this data. Here is data for generating an order, for creating order record in the order table. We have user ID, it comes from the current user ID. Shipping address comes from user. Address, payment method, user. Preferred payment method. And other and prices, they come from cart. The shopping cart from getMyCart function. Then import db from db/theresult and call transaction function on db. By having transaction, all SQL commands will be run in one take. I mean, either they run all together or they get cancelled or rollbacked. So what I'm gonna do here is to insert a new record in the order table. Import orders from db/schema and insert order as a new record in the order table. call returning on it to get the inserted order in the database because we need it in the next step. After creating an order, next step is creating order items because I have multiple items for an order. I create for loop for each item in the cart, insert that item in the orders table, import orders table. Before inserting item, I need to set the order ID. It comes from the inserted order in previous SQL command. And change the price to a string using item.price.toFixed. After this, generating all order items in the order item table, we need to update the cart and set it as empty. Import cart from db/schema and set items empty array and set prices to 0. Import eq from the result ORM to update the correct cart ID. At the end, I'm returning order ID from this function, dbTransaction. So inserted order ID will be used in this if condition. If there is no inserted order ID, display this error message, order not created. Otherwise, redirect user to the order page. We implement this page later. In the catch part, if it's a redirect error through an error, otherwise call format error on the error and return success false, and the message comes from format error function. Save the code. Let's go for next step. It's creating place order form in app, root, new folder, place order. Inside that new file, placeorderform.tsx. Import use client, it's a client component, and export default function placeOrderForm. Inside that, call useFormState from React DOM. First parameter is create order action from orders.actions. Second parameter is default value success false, message empty. Then render place order button. Import access to the pending status using useFormStatus hook, and render a button if pending show loader, otherwise show place order, and a check icon next to it. In the return part of this component, render a form, set action to the action that we created from useFormState, make it full width, then render button, and render message. If there is an error message, render error message using text deconstructive red color. We use place order form in the page component in this folder. Let's create new file, page.tsx, in the place order folder. Here is the code for it. Set title using export const metadata, import app name from lib/constant, and export default async function place order page. It's a server component to render place order screen. Import get my cart and get access to the shopping cart. Import auth to get access to current user session. Then get user information using get user by ID, and then we have a check. If cart does not exist, redirect user to the cart page. If user address or payment does not exist, redirect user to shipping address, payment method page, like this. In the return part, render empty container, then use checkout steps and set current step to 3 to active last step, which is place order, render heading 1, place order, and then create 2 columns, one for rendering order information and second one for rendering order action. In the order information, render a cart and cart content from ShadCN. In the first cart, I'm going to display shipping address, show user full name, address information, and render a link to redirect user to the shipping address and a button inside it to modify shipping address. Do the same for payment method. Render selected payment method and a button to edit payment method by redirecting user to the payment method page. Next cart is order items. I'm using a table like what I did in the shopping cart page, imported from ShadCN, table, header, row, all of them comes from component/UI. Table body should be imported, table cell. Then render image from next/image, and there we are. After rendering preview of order, in the second column render a cart. In the cart content, render summary of the order. Show items price, use format currency from utils.ts. Show tax price, shipping price, and total price in different rows. And at the end, render place order button, place order form. It's gonna render a button to finish or create the order. Save the code and let's check the result. Select a product, add to cart, go to cart, proceed to checkout, enter shipping address, select payment method, and there we are. We are on the last step, place order. We have place order here, shipping address in a cart, we can edit it, payment method, Stripe, we can edit it, order items, and we can edit it by going to the shopping cart. And here we have summary of this order, and by clicking on place order, a new order will be created and we get redirected to this page, /order/ID of that order. Great, we successfully implemented creating order in this page. On the next lesson, we work on payment. Until next lesson, bye-bye.